Your children are watching. Deuteronomy 11:18 through 19. Fix these words of mine in your hearts. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home. In Sunday school, little Billy was asked, "What is faith?" He replied, "Faith is believing something that you know isn't true." This often quoted joke may make us smile, but if little Billy holds on to that idea, he'll walk away from the faith, and that will not be funny. What's the best way to encourage a child in the faith? Scripture makes it plain that mom and dad play the most vital role. When parents genuinely trust and follow the Lord in His ways, their faith spills over onto their children. That's what today's key verse is talking about. Moses is speaking, but the words are the Lord's as he spells out how the Israelites are to live and raise their families. First, they are to fix God's words in their own hearts, then teach them to their children. Then and now, the challenge for parents has been the same. How can we teach our kids and really transmit our faith so they can make it their own? As helpful as Sunday school and other church activities are, your children learn a lot more just by watching you and your spouse, not only as parents but as husband and wife. Do they observe you treating each other with love and respect? What do they see and hear that says loud and clear, Mom and Dad love God and each other? Here are a few questions to consider. Do our children see us praying together at times other than before meals? Do they hear us talking about depending on Christ to give strength and wisdom for what we should do about whatever is facing our family? Do our children learn from us during teachable moments that happen naturally? For example, you could casually share with them what you're learning from these devotionals. They might be more interested than you think. Do our children ever see any physical affection between us? A loving hug, kiss, pat, or squeeze? Can they see evidence that we really like each other? Do our children see us facing challenging times with a measure of peace and contentment instead of anger and worry? When you squeeze an orange juice comes out. When life squeezes you, does Jesus come out? These are just a few considerations you can think of, many more that fit your family and the ages of your children. Your goal is not to run a Sunday school class at home, but to live with your children in such a way that you infect them with the real disease you are trying to sneeze faith and hope you are contagious. Obviously, there are no guarantees that children will follow the faith of their parents. Each child makes his or her own choices, and some choose to disobey. As a parent, your job is to live your faith before your children as genuinely and honestly as you can and leave the rest to God. Here are two more questions to ask yourselves from time to time. In our marriage, is there real love and respect? Do our kids see us as the real deal when it comes to our faith? If you were to ask your children, do mom and dad love and respect each other, how would they answer? And if you ask them, whom do mom and dad trust and follow the most in their lives, what would be their reply? These are hard, demanding questions that can make a parent sometimes think, what's the use? The odds are against us. But then you remember that you are not in this parenting thing alone. You know that you can greatly increase the odds that your children will love and reverence Christ when you do. It's as simple and hard as that. Welcome the fact that your marriage has an audience. Your children are watching. Will they see the real deal? Thank the Lord for your children, acknowledging that they are gifts from Him. Ask Him for the strength and faith to teach your children how to trust and obey as they watch you trust and obey. Ask Him to increase your hunger for His Word and create a hunger in your children as well. This week, as the time seems right, ask your children, who do mom and dad trust and follow the most in life? And if they are old enough to understand your commitment to love and respect, ask them how they think you are doing.